Good morning, everybody. Welcome into episode 2 of our Learn With Me series. Today, we're going to be doing episode 2, which we're going to talk about tuning. And this is kind of a long, complicated topic, so bear with me a little bit. Again, this is still for extremely new players. So if you're more advanced, you're more than welcome to hang out, but this is probably not going to mean very much to you. That having been said, we're going to talk about how tuning works. We're going to talk about what we're tuning our guitar to, and we're going to talk about how to verify that tuning. Now, getting right into this, you need to understand that each string is set to play a certain pitch. We refer to these as notes when we dial in the pitch specifically to a certain point. And with guitar, there are multiple different tunings that you can use. For our purposes, we're going to be focusing on E standard. I'm not going to mention the other types. We're not going to get into it. But we're going to talk about how it actually works. Now, the pitch or the note of each string is determined by the tension on the string between this point and this point. And the way that you adjust that tension is with your tuning machines, which are generally found here on the headstock. Again, different types of guitars, they may be in different places. We won't cover that in this episode. That will be more of a I got some weird gear type episode. But for most intents and purposes, your tuning machines will be here on what we call the headstock at the very top of the neck. Now, when you're adjusting these, if you loosen the tension on the string, the pitch of the string will go down. If you increase the tension, the pitch will come up. And it's very important to note that when you're tuning your strings, do not start tuning, and if you go too high and the pitch is too high, don't just drop it down until it's in tune. Go all the way back down and then tune back up to the pitch that you want to tune to. And the reason I say this is because your strings operating under tension will act very differently if you don't tune up to that pitch. It may sound and look like it's in tune, and then when you start playing, it will not be in tune. It will be flat, which is too low. So I very, very strongly recommend that you tune up to a pitch every time. That having been said, there are a couple different ways to tune your guitar. Traditionally, the most common way amongst a lot of musicians is to tune by ear, which is you train yourself to recognize a certain note, you tune your string to it, you tune the rest of the strings to that. The benefit of this method is that you do not need to buy something like this to help you tune your guitar. Now, the downside of that is that it takes quite a while to actually recognize that note and recognize whether you're sharp or flat when you're dialing that note in. It's very much a gut feeling. You have to train your ear to recognize that frequency. The other methods we have is a machine like this. This is what I call a tuner. or most people call a tuner, not to be confused with your tuning machines. I understand this is a machine. However, this is just referred to as a tuner. Now, some tuners have an auto detection, so they have a little microphone like this one does, and that will pick up the sound that's coming out of your guitar and let you know if you are sharp or flat. Some tuning machines will display a letter letting you know what note your string is making, and will have 3 lights. There will be a red light on the left, a green light in the middle, and a red light on the right. What you're aiming for is to get that right in the middle at the green. If you hit a note and you have a light to the left, then you are flat and you need to tune up. If you have a red light on the right, then you are sharp and you need to drop down and tune back up. But you're shooting for the green. Or on a gauge like this that just has a needle, you're looking for the middle, right at that 0. And I know it's probably kind of hard to see, my angles suck. I apologize for that, but something like that is one option. There is also another option known as a tuning pedal, and we'll get into how pedals work later, but it's basically the same thing. You plug your guitar in, you hit the note, and sharp or flat, you go from there. Now, tuners come in different styles, and the one that I see most commonly with new players is a clip-on tuner, which clips onto your headstock here and registers the vibrations through the neck and tells you if you're in tune or not. I usually recommend not getting those and not using them if you have a choice, because I find that they're generally not as accurate as the other tuning methods. Also, they tend to get lost quite easily. Now, that having been said, I do know a lot of people that use them, a lot of people that have no issues with them, and find them extremely convenient for playing live shows and things like that, to which are all valid points. And I'm not saying they're entirely bad. I'm just saying that if you are going to specifically go out and buy a tuner, get the best tuner you can afford. Get something accurate, something easy to use. So now that we've been over that, I want to go over what your strings should be tuned to in order to tune to E standard tuning. And the reason I'm doing this first is because if you don't understand how to tune your guitar, then you're going to have a really tough time playing, because you're always going to have one or multiple strings that are out of tune, or you're going to get frustrated because it sounds like shit. So it's very important to understand what your strings are supposed to be tuned to. So we're going to start here at the bottom at the 6th string, and that's going to be tuned to E. And my guitar may not be perfectly in tune at the moment. I understand that. It's been sitting here all night. I haven't tuned it yet today, but I know it's fairly close. So we're going to run with it. The 6th string, the one closest to you, the thickest one, is going to be tuned to E. The next string up, your 5th string, is going to be tuned to A. Moving right on up, your 4th string is going to be D. This next string, this is a funny one. A lot of people laugh about this, but we're going to go through it anyway. Your 3rd string is going to be G. So yes, your guitar has a G string. Not to be confused with the underwear, although that is the joke. Your next string up, your 2nd string, is going to be tuned to B. And finally, your 1st string The very furthest away from you is going to be tuned to E, just like that lower string. So, working through it, you have E, A, D, G, B, and E. In order to memorize this, you should spend some time going through your guitar, hitting each one, and saying the name of the string. E, A, D, G, B, E. And work forward and backwards. E, B, G, D, A, E. Once you have all of those memorized, you will know what your guitar is supposed to be tuned to in order to tune to E standard tuning. The one final thing we're going to work on in this lesson, and I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this lesson, is playing your E major chord. And that's how you're going to verify that your guitar is in fact in tune to E standard. Now, in order to play the E major, you need to put your index finger on your third string on the first fret. You're going to take your ring finger and put it right here on the second fret of the fourth string. And you're going to take your middle finger, your flipper offer finger, and you're going to put it on the second fret of the fifth string. And then you're going to play all of the strings on the guitar. You can either do it with a pick, like what I have here, or you can do it with the picks that the creator gave you, whoever your creator may be. We're not going to get into religion here. That doesn't matter for music. But when you make that E major chord, you should hear all of the notes ring together to make a beautiful sounding chord, to make one solid note. So we're going to end this episode right there. But I want you to go through each string, name them all off, and then play your E major chord and verify they're in tune. With that, I hope you guys have a great day today. I hope that your musical journey fits you well. And we'll see you in the next episode. We'll learn some more chords and we'll talk a little bit about how chords are made. But for now, have a great time. Enjoy your instrument. I'll see you guys soon.